Hi, good good afternoon. Yeah, please. Uh, I and my team did we designed a, a university attendance system. I and my team we designed a university attendance system, and this is how we go by it. We it is a website. It is a web-based application that allows students to mark their attendance and enable administrators to monitor students' record. It is we implemented it by the use by using of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we use IndexedDB for local data storage, making it full browser based with offline capabilities. And with that, this is how we did it. This our HTML, this our CSS code for it, and this our HTML code for the work. And then we this our IndexedDB. We merge the IndexedDB with the JavaScript, and this is it. Yes, this is that one too. So without said, let's run it and see how it works. There we go. All right. So it's something that we did it like this, and it's very user free and friendly because we implement it in such a way that it's very easy for use and let's say logically it's easy to understand. Well, it doesn't require a lot of things from the users. For instance, like if you are a user, for instance, like you like students who come and create their account here, and then this students registration creation. So you just create the account here. For instance, let's see, let me use, I'll just use somebody, I'll just key in somebody things, and let's see, 3 4 5. Yes. Okay, so this is somebody, let's assume this somebody index number, and then the person will key in a password. So the person enter the password, and then you come and select your course, even though we just brief it here, but we would have extended it in such a way that there will be a lot of departments to choose. Like there will be a computer, a folks department, engineering department, and business department. And then when a set person comes there, then you now, when you go to a computer science department, then a folks, then you have your computer science courses, you have your BSc software, data, and about. We limit it to this. So let's say in case a student want to register, and then you key in your ID, you come and enter your password, and then they give you option here. You should choose the course you belong to. If it is you are a computer science student, you can go ahead. If it is BSc software engineering, you can go ahead. If it is cybersecurity option, if it is data science, yeah, data science, you can go ahead. So by me, I'm a BSc software engineering student, so I choose this. So register. And you see, they said that student registered successfully. Welcome. So in this case, and then they bring you here for you to log in as a student, because after you create an account, which means you are now part of the community or you are part of the class, and you can mark your attendance. So with you marking your attendance, you have to log in. You have to log in like this, this way, all right, like this. All right. Is this the okay? All right, let's go. Then you log in, right? And you said they welcome you, and a student can only mark absent or present in a class because that's the only two things we go by. It's either you are present or you are absent. So, and without, for me to draw your attention, a student can only mark attendance once per day and can only mark either present or absent, and you cannot correct it. When you go for present, you are present, you cannot correct it. When you go for absent, you are absent, you cannot correct it. So let's say here, I'm present. Okay. And we made it in such a way that it will show you the status. Why am I saying that? You see that we can see that your attendance, there is a date and there is a status, right? And a student, after you are done like this, you can log out. Even though if you do not log out, it will automatically do that for you. But to for you for better, just log out. Simple. So with this, a student has been created, right? So, and but as we did, we make sure that we test it to avoid to avoid problems. We thoroughly test it to make sure that everything is working perfect. Okay. So admire to can also create. We can also create administrator registration here dashboard, but we did it in such a way that in a course, let's say for instance, like a software engineering, for instance, there can only be one instructor, right? Yes. So it's only one person that can create as administrator. So when we were doing, we use we use administrator to we use somebody to represent as administrator. So right now, when I try to create something like this, let me use this one. They will not. They will not. I'm coming. One, two, three. Right. You see. You see that I told you that administrator already exists. I told you we did it in such a way that in a course there can only be one instructor. So when we were doing it, we use an somebody to represent us, our administrator. When the person logs in, let's say we have we use this to represent our administrator. So log register. Okay, sorry, as I need to log in. So come here, log in as administrator. 0 30 76 344, and then you enter your password. Right. So let's go. There we go. So this administrator dashboard, and you can see that the total number, this today attendance, and you have a total students of 7 and a total attendance record of which is 8, and then you have all your students to be here. So this is it, and then you as administrator or admirer, you have the authority, you have the zeal to be able to view a student, each student status. Right? Say this this somebody's own, right? You can view a student, for instance, you can view like this, and then you can even edit, because you are the instructor. So we give instructor permission to be able to correct a student in case, like, let's say a student mark present, and you as instructor, you have the right to detect, to know that such student was not in class. So you can easily edit it. Instead of present, you can mark it absent. You can mark it absent like this. like this. I said that attendance updated successfully. So, right, you see that it changed from it trans like when it was present, admire change it to absent. And when such student go back to his side to check his attendance, the person could see that as he was present, like it has been changed to absent, in a sense that maybe the person may not be in class or something like that. Mhm. So this is the this is the logic behind the admire, or the power behind the instructor. He we shows that he has the power in the class, and he can view all, each student in the class can only view their own status. But you as the instructor or administrator, you have right, or you can view the whole class. The whole class you can see, this is the total number of the, the total number of the students, the how many people marked present in a day, how many people marked absent in a day. You alone can do that. And this is the instructor or the administrator dashboard. And after that, you log out. Even though if you do not log, it will do that automatically for you, but for security reasons, log out like this. Yes, and this is how we try. And let's go and check our documentation uh for the side. Okay, there we go. So a university attendance system documentation prepared by group 28, date was this, and then this our esteemed group members. We have these five team, we are five in a team, and we came out with this project work. So we sat together, did everything together, and we came out with uh, the project. And this our documentation for the project we just saw earlier. And then come to talk of the documentation, we have a table of content, which is we have the overview in it, we have the UI, the UX design, the software architecture, the documentation, the authentication, the testing, and we go to the conclusion. So let's check the overview. The university attendance system is a web-based application that allows students to mark their attendance and enable administrators to monitor attendance record. It is implemented using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and use IndexedDB for local data storage. Make it full browser-based with offline capability, as I told you earlier. And then let's check off the user interface. The user interface, it is very clear, minimalist interface. Use of colors, code, status, as we saw earlier. We use green for present, and then we use red for absent, as we can see, we saw earlier, sorry. And input, and we make the input and then the buttons size for easy clicking, as we can saw what happened in during the when I was going through the code, or when we're checking, doing the testing. So you can see here, like, we have a user experience, which is a very simple navigation for students and administrators. It's very simple. That's how we did it. And alert notification, notify users of error or successful action. As we saw earlier, when I enter the administrator, when I register the student or the administrator, you see that for instance, when I register the administrator, they told me that administrator is already exist. That's the powerful of, or the logic behind the work we did. So come to talk of the student side. You see that when I register the student, they said that student registered successfully, and then they turn you to the login side. When you register finish, the system will automatically send you to the login side. After you register, you won't search for the login, but the system itself, after you enter your detail in the system and you go through all the process and the system accepts you, it will automatically turn you to a login so that you could log in and go and mark your attendance for that day. And since that day going, or let's say with or the days coming, you won't have to suffer. You just come and key in your ID, your index, then you log in and mark your attendance for that day. And then this is it. Come to talk of the architecture pattern is something single pattern application with a state maintenance using local storage and index DB. Maintenance is very crucial in every software system because it plays one of the important role when it comes to the quality of it. Then let's come and talk of the application layer. We have the HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript, the index DB, and local storage, as I told you earlier. And come to talk of the database schema, which is the index side. We 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 make it very simple, as I told you earlier. We make it very simple for the users. So we require only student ID, student department, student password for you to be okay. And then the administrator too, or the instructor, we require only administrator ID and then the password. And then come to talk of the attendance. You see that attendance, student ID, the date, and then the store as we saw earlier. And then come to talk of the architecture diagram is this is it. And then the most important side is the futures. The futures tree is here, which we can see. And then come to talk of the functional requirement, which I want to put more emphasis on. The functional requirement is nothing but for us to make the system flexible, to make the system usability, to make the system adaptability. We make it in such a way that we never a student register with ID, password, and department. A student, a register administrator, we make it in such a way that login validation, student mark their attendance, student view a history, administrator view and edit record, as I did that earlier. And I come to talk of the non-functional requirement. We have the browser only offline capable, the index DB persistence, the responsive UI. And then talking of the authentication is also here, which is the client side and those things. All right. So come to talk of the testing, which also play a very crucial in software, because without testing, at the end of your work, it may it may lead to some crisis because you did not test it thoroughly to make sure it's working or it meets the requirement of it. So come to talk of the testing. We manually test, confirm, register, log in, attendance marking, admire, editing. Example for the testing. We should reject, or the system should reject duplication student ID. So if you are a student and you try to register, like you register for the first time, if you're trying to register, they will not allow you, because when the system allows you to register, that's duplication. So we avoid that. We make the system to avoid such students or to reject it. After all, you already registered, right? So it's free to go. So come to talk, the system should prevent double marking attendance. We saw earlier, or I told you earlier, that a student can only mark once, and whereas you go, or after you mark present, you can't correct it. And when you mark absent, you can't correct it unless the instructor or the administrator. So come to talk of, and we said that future. Okay. And then this brought us to the conclusion, and we said that a conclusion in all our work for us to summarize for you, is a lightweight browser attendance management app that can grow with a secure server, integration, and enhancing features. And that's the end of that's the end of our work for our group 28. Thank you.